So, hello, my name is Heded, and today I'll be presenting my English 10 POL and my History POL. First I'll be presenting my English. My thesis statement for my English POL is, in the novel Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, the protagonist, Guy Montag, was very close-minded about literature, but certain events in the novel changed his opinion and in the importance of literature. This expert is from page 6 of the book, and it's showing how at the beginning of the book, when Clarice asked him about if he's read any of the books that he's burned, he said, "Of course not, it's illegal." But then he gets really defensive about his own job of what he does. So this kind of just explains how he's very closed-minded at the beginning, and he starts to open up once he starts talking more to Clarice, and Clarice starts to broaden his mind a little.
What is he closed-minded about?
About the books, because he thinks, since he's a fireman, he thinks he's doing a good deed for the community by burning the books. So he's very close-minded about literature in general because he doesn't know, he's never read a book or anything. And they're in that city, everything they learned is basically TV and videos. This is another one when he starts to read more books. He starts to read more literature that he steals from fires that he's caused. And him and his wife are reading, and then he gets kind of defensive with her about how literature, how she's asking why do I need to read, what is this good for? And then he starts getting very defensive with her about the literature and how it can help you, and basically this shows how he's starting to use books and literature in his everyday life. Then this is another expert from page. They're blurry. I'm sorry. Yeah. But this is from when Clarice's friends come over, and they're talking about politics, and then she's like, "Oh, I voted for this president because I didn't vote for this president because he was short and fat, but I voted for the other one because he's tall and handsome." And this just shows how messed up they are because they haven't read any literature. They don't have any knowledge about anything. And he pulls out a poem, and this is basically showing how he's now more open-minded about literature, and he finally uses it to fight back, in arguments he'll use it.
What else you said that they don't know anything?
Not that they don't know anything, but they're just not intellectually they're not very bright because they haven't read any literature. They only watch videos and what their community wants them to know from the videos. Okay, now do you have any questions? Now I'll be presenting history. My thesis statement for history is, I'm doing Essential Skill 1. Many Enlightenment thinkers have influenced the way America's government was created, but John Locke had the most influence above all.
Wait, can you just go back?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So, my first piece of evidence for defending my thesis is that John Locke said that government cannot take away natural rights, and natural rights is just life, liberty, and property. So we're basically saying that the government cannot kill you for no probable cause. The liberty, they can't discriminate against you, and property, they can't deny you of a home or of your land. And this is all found in the U.S. Bill of Rights. That's how he influenced the U.S. government.
What did John Locke say that people had a right to do if the government wasn't protecting these rights?
My next slide.
Oh,
Evidence number 2, citizens have the right to revolt against government if rights are not protected. And my examples here are from the Boston Tea Party. They basically didn't have liberty because they wanted to, well, not the Boston Tea Party technically, but it's like one of the starts from the American Revolution. So the American Revolution, they wanted to get away from the monarchy, so they revolted against them, and they just had the Boston Tea Party and a bunch of other very not violent fights, but just revolts. And then the French Revolution, when they were overthrowing their government because of high taxation and their monarchy. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?
Can you go back to the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So do I talk about my
Yes, can you continue on here, you can use it.
how I'm up here?
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with my sentence tree.
Can you push it down a little more? Hold on.
It's kind of messy. So
Why do you put comma before which?
because it just sounds better like a pause, like it's basically separating two clauses. So the independent clause and the dependent clause, and saying the owner decided to sell coins, that could be one sentence on its own. But then it comes with which had been locked in a vault for 50 years.
So do you really need that comma before four?
No, I
No.
skipped. So, yeah.
Let's fix ban and sale. Those should be what?
Adjectives.
Read it again.
The owner decided to sell his coins, which had been it should just be verbs, right?
It should be verbs, because what's present tense is sale, or what's past tense is sale.
Bit, sold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
Remember, verbs only have past tense.
I don't even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So now my DBQs that I just like talk about.
Yeah, talk me through a couple of your annotations there.
Well, my first annotation is that right here I thought they were talking about capitalism because they said that none of the colony undertaking was motivated by the guest for capitalism. So I just assumed that they were talking about communism because they didn't. They're saying that they wanted to. Basically, I thought that they were saying they wanted total control of the undertaking. So then this one, the nation will to power was basically which is basically saying how they're not willing to give power, but they're willing to take power. So, and then do I read you my thesis? Okay. So according to Raymond Aron, the main cause of imperialism is the hunger for power. And the quote is, they all originated in the political ambition. The nation will to power or glory or nation. National.
Okay, pause there. So you're just writing a quote, yeah?
Yeah.
What is missing from the beginning of that evidence statement?
Citation. Oh.
Right? So as a reader, I need to know who you're quoting.
Right. Yeah.
So what's a way to introduce this?
Raymond Aron states in the paragraph above.
You're going to use
Oh, Raymond Aron states.
Yep. Okay, take me to your analysis.
Okay, so basically what this said is that the main cause of imperialism comes from the ambition of like the thought of political the government basically wants to take all the power, like all the like power from the countries and give it to take it for themselves and basically take over all the countries. And
Is that what you wrote down?
oh no, I wrote down that like they'll take them and turn them into basically other models of themselves. So say they'll go to Africa, they'll like change the Africans over there to like white Christian people from America.
Okay, can you read me what you wrote?
This quote explains where the uh, the causes of imperialism or originally comes from government the government glorify I don't know what I wrote.
Okay. So in your analysis, you're connecting your thesis and your evidence, right?
Mhm.
So in your thesis, you stated that basically their biggest motive was what?
Power.
Power. Okay, so why does that matter? What does that even mean? Why do
Pow-
they want power?
Because power gives you basically everything, like money, basic sometimes happiness, unless you're powerful and you want more, you can't just get enough.
Okay, and what are ways of them demonstrating this power?
Land, money, land and money basically.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Andres. Let's turn in your feedback forms, Tyler, set up. And then let's have Sydney